And we're back with episode 2 of the drift project. It's been quite a while since I filmed the first one, due to having to wait for parts like this from Australia. So in this episode we'll be tackling the diffs. Got some nice aluminium diff lockers here, 2 of them. We've got a alloy metal motor mount, official Tamiya part, and a new servo from Servo. So let's get going. We're going to tackle the diffs first. Now these are the original diffs from the TT01, all cleaned up. As you can see in there, there's a back gear which connects to one drive shaft. There's 3 of these little gears here with a centre bit that attaches them all together, and there's a top bit that goes to the other drive shaft on the other side, like that. And when cornering, the inside wheel is always going to turn slower, and this is how this diff works, and I'll do a quick demonstration for you now. Right, I'm just going to show you a quick demonstration of how a diff works. This is the rally project, just an example to show you, but in each axle there is a diff in the middle to aid in cornering, because when cornering the inside wheel turns slower than the outside wheel, and if it was just a normal solid axle where both wheels span at the same speed, it would basically continue pretty much straight on, because the inside wheel wouldn't be allowed to turn slower, and it would make cornering a lot harder, a lot slower. So yeah, a diff allows the inside wheel to turn at a different speed to the outside wheel. Here's a quick demonstration. This is going to be a bit difficult, but I'm just putting a bit of throttle on now, and both wheels are turning at the same speed. But if I stop one wheel, the other one still spins like that. So normal speed, both going forward. Stop one wheel, and the other one's still going at the same speed. This is to aid in cornering, so that the inside wheel can turn slower, and it can still maintain its speed around a corner. So that's how a normal diff works. So let's get on with putting in the diff locker. I've removed one of the set of gears from one of the diffs and put in the diff locker. It's very easy to put in. They just slide into those 3 grooves in the edge of the case, so looks pretty good. And then the cover just simply slits over and clips like that. So that's one diff done. They just got 3 screws on that side, which I'll do in a minute. But this basically allows the 2 wheels to turn at the same speed, but forwards or backwards, and they don't turn at different speeds. So it should help maintain sort of a good drift, because you haven't got wheels doing different speeds at different times. It should make it more reliable, and you should maintain a longer drift. So yeah, that's how these diffs are going to work. So I'll just remove this gear here. Remove it carefully, you'll be able to see that's how the diff actually looks. And oh, fell off. But it spins around in the case like that a little bit. I can't really show you because it's fallen apart. But so let's just put another diff in there, like that. That's the other diff locker in with the case over the top. So now all that's left to do is just put the screws on, and that's the diff done. So I've screwed one together already. It's a lot lighter than the other one, which is a bit of a bonus. Make the car just that little bit lighter. Get to use my new screwdriver set as well. So these screws just fit in there. Tiny little screws, so just be careful that you don't strip all the plastic on the diff. It's very annoying. Another benefit of this is that you don't have to actually grease the inside of the diff, because there's no gears or gears spinning around in there, so there's no need to grease it in there. And it should be a lot quieter because there's actually not metal against metal scraping around. It's just the whole diff will just be spinning forward. So yeah, a few benefits of actually locking the diffs here. It won't be good if you lock all the diffs and have it, normal racing around a track. It won't be very good because it won't corner very well. but if you're drifting, big benefit if you lock the diffs. No noise and no having to grease all the gears, which is not particularly pleasant because grease gets everywhere. Putting the last screw in now. This new screwdriver set's really nice actually. Really impressed so far. It's actually an adjustable torque screwdriver as well, so you can adjust it to which kind of screws you're putting in, so you're not stripping anything out. Yep, so that's another diff screw together. Can't put these in yet because you have to put the other chassis ends, but they basically fit in the end sort of like that. So they're not going in just yet. Got to wait for some more parts to arrive to be able to do that. So that's both diffs done. Locked diffs. So now we'll move on to the new servo. Savox 0254 digital servo. Let's get it open. This car, it was bought off eBay if you didn't already know, if you didn't watch my last video. Second hand. It came with just your standard ACOM servo, but this is a big upgrade. Focus, come on. There you go. So it's a metal geared servo, and it's also digital, which means it's a lot faster than your normal analog servo. Good for drifting because it means you can adjust your steering angle very quickly, so you can maintain a better drift. It's quite light actually for a metal geared servo, so this will fit somewhere in the tub like that. So let's get it in there. Right, so attach the little bracket bits just there. Finally worked out the torque setting on my screwdriver as well. See a little scale there. Focus. There you go. So you just screw this around to adjust the torque setting, and when you've reached a certain torque limit, the handle just spins and doesn't allow the bit to turn anymore. So good tip there, good feature. So I've just got to screw this to the chassis now. It's probably going to have to come back out again to fit the actual steering on, but just nice to put it in there now, see if it fits and see how it looks in the actual chassis. Screw this in now. That's the first one. And as you can see, the screws are actually flush to the bottom of the chassis, so they're not being scraped when they're going along the ground, when it's grounding out. So sorry about the noise, my dad's pressure washing the car outside. Yeah, that's the servo in. So now it's time for the final bit of this build video. Tamiya metal motor mount for the TT01. This is the standard plastic one, which, you know, is fine, but we can upgrade it. And the plastic one might twist and bend under the torque of the motor, because we may be uprating the motor. So yeah, this new metal one should make it a lot stronger. So I've already opened it just to make sure it fits. But there it is. Nice silver colour, not the horrible blue colour. Well, not horrible, but just it's quite common just to see an aluminium blue motor mount. So it's just a nice silver one. So that just slots in there really easily. Then the top cover just goes on top like that. It does click on, it's just a bit difficult to do that, but that's how it will look, and the motor will attach through there to the spur gear and then run the drive shaft to both ends of the chassis. So that's the motor mount in. The drift project's coming on quite nicely now. Got the servo in and the metal motor mount. And the diffs, obviously, both diffs all locked up and done. So I'm probably going to peel these sticks off now because I'm not going to need them. It just says to prevent fire or other damage, always unplug or remove the battery from the vehicle when it's not in use, but I think everyone knows that. Let's peel them off. Makes it look a bit better as well. And then I may keep the on-off one because there's going to be a switch for this anyway. There's a caution rotating parts for the drive shaft as well, take that off, don't need that in there. At least they're not the stupid paper ones that leave residue and bits of the sticker behind. Just peel off nice and easily, and we'll get rid of that one as well. Don't need that. If it's going to come off, which it probably isn't. No, it's got a little plastic cover over it, like a little film. We'll have to get that one off later, I think. Yeah, that one's going to have to come off later. But yeah, it's coming along. Next episode we'll probably be tackling the suspension. Still waiting for parts to come for that. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you later. Goodbye.